Museum of Blackness. It's a lot of artifacts of negritude, and it really is beautiful inside and out. It's really the only thing I truly care about within this sector of monuments, because I really feel like they took a lot of care to make sure that it spoke to the full experience of Black folks historically in this country. This is the first thing that those Floridians and everybody who's trying to CRT this shit would try and burn down, because they don't want no record of the truth. But it's in there. It's in there. That Wakanda looking ass building, it's gonna take off. To be honest, going into Small Doses Live, I wasn't as jazzed as I wanted to be because we hadn't sold out. And I was really like bummed about that, particularly because DC is always such a strong market for me. But it just was like, oh man. And this was the first time we were doing Small Doses Live in DC. And so I just really wanted it to be like more of a home run. That being said, I was really excited to interview April D. Ryan and get the opportunity to finally meet her in person and do so in her town. We got a call approximately 30 minutes ago that our guest, April D. Ryan, is under the weather. So I will be doing the Small Doses podcast live, solo dolo. I mean, somebody's sick. Like, what you gonna do? You can't do nothing, they sick. But it was just like, damn. That was a blow. That was a blow. It was also a blow because I was really expecting to do an interview, which is way less of a lift than like leading a solo like podcast. But instead, when she was no longer able to do the podcast live and I had to do it myself, it meant I was gonna have to drain and strain and just like dig deep into my reserves. So I knew I had to do stand up that night. And so like I hadn't anticipated doing basically like a one-woman show as the matinee. So I got a call 30 minutes ago that April D. Ryan is not gonna make it. Yeah, so if you came for April, I'm sorry for you. Send her a DM. She says she's under the weather. And so here we are, me and y'all. Thankfully, we got there and we did it, and the audience was understanding and also, as per usual, thoughtful, because those questions was hitting. People really just will come up with things for your identity that have nothing to do with who you are, but everything to do with their own insecurities about themselves. And the projecting of that is like very, very serious, and it's a lot to manage when you're just trying to like get through this life thing. Recording the podcast in studio is like a very like basic experience, because at the end of the day, it's just me and the producer, and I don't have any variables I have to worry about, like, or even just address. Like, I don't have any other factors that are kind of coming in aside from a guest. But when you're doing the podcast in person, you also have to like press sound effects and like keep the show going and like be mindful about like, oh, there's intros and segments in a way that usually my engineer handles. Shout out to Brendan when he does the edit. So it's a much more performance-based representation of the podcast than I have to do when I'm doing the podcast in the house. Also, people be coming with questions, and I think they really be trying to come for my neck.
You said you're smart, funny, and black, but you never said a woman.
What was the question?
Being a woman, you didn't have that in your... You're
asking why I don't have that?
Right.
Because being smart, funny, and black is a chosen identity. Being a woman is my physical being that I am. Thank you so much. I really hope that even though this wasn't what you expected, that it was still something you enjoyed. There's a standing happening. Honestly, you cannot be a live performer if you can't pivot. Because ultimately, The whole thing about live is that it's living. Like it could happen in any shape, way, or form by nature of the fact that it is not static, right? And you don't have the safety of an edit. So you have to pivot because there's so many things happening in real time that you simply don't have control over. I'm a queen of the pivot. I pride myself on being able to think on my feet and also to maintain a high level of quality even when the going gets tough. And I'm a very big believer also that whatever happens in production is what was meant to happen. I don't know if that's true, but it helps me get through. We're going to see a billboard. Apparently I'm on a billboard, shout to Shoutable, and apparently it's an inside billboard, which normally I would be like, why would it be inside? But considering how hot it is, I'm fine with that today. So let's go see. It felt so good selling out the comedy show, and this was the first time that we had sold out the stand-up before Smart, Funny, and Black. I don't know how big of a deal it is to have a Kennedy Center residency for anybody else, but for me, having a Kennedy Center residency felt like I was truly arriving at, like, oh, you a professional comedian, professional. Not just doing stand-up at Kennedy Center, but being able to do a residency where I brought 3 different types of shows. And this wasn't the first time. In 2019, I brought my show Moba the Woo, where I took Wu-Tang records and turned them into jazz. I also did stand-up and I did Smart, Funny, and Black. So this time, we switched it up and instead of Moba the Woo, I did Small Doses. But just to be able to inhabit that space, it's such a legendary space, and it's also just a really dope performance space. To be able to multi-hyphenate in that space and give you hyphen in one weekend, like, that's really, to me, exceptional. And also I love that they even see what I do as valuable enough to do that in that space. Now Radio City, that's the next level. Last show, my body weary, I ain't gonna lie to you. I took an hour-long nap, and then I had a little bit of a wardrobe crisis. I didn't really like what I had put together, but settled on, I'm just, red is a power color. It's a chakra, it grounds you, so that's what we're gonna do. I wanna say, isn't red like the throat chakra? Whatever it is, it's a power color, and we're gonna be powerful. So let's get into it. It's time for an evening with Amanda Seales.
Go.
I chew a specific type of gum. It is the Orange Trident tropical gum because mint has a tendency to make me lose my voice. I haven't done the podcast live since like 2019, and literally during that taping, I lost my voice. Like in the middle of the show, I just lost my voice. So I don't do the peppermint or the spearmint, but that particular fruit gum is like strong enough for it to actually change like your mouth taste. Gumgate. So, okay, y'all know that people have like writers when they go and do performances and shows, right? So the writer is basically like the list of things that you require them to provide for you. My writer is pretty basic, right? I have like, I think sweet chili Doritos. I have Simply apple juice. I have Pellegrino. I have regular water. I have a fruit plate. I have a vegetable plate. I have throat coat tea, honey, and Trident tropical gum. Now, I consider the gum to be probably like one of the easiest items on this writer to provide. The Doritos to me seems the hardest thing because they don't necessarily make those Doritos everywhere or sell them everywhere. But the gum, y'all, the gum is out here. And eventually we were told that, you know, this brand and type and flavor of gum, well, it simply just must not be sold this side of the Mississippi. Y'all, I done bought this gum off a lady's head on the side of the road in Togo. But they don't sell it to the east of the SIP. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
What's the weirdest thing on your writer?
Right, you want to pull them back?
Nothing. That's why I'm always shocked when it hasn't been provided.
And got one.
They didn't want to give me the gum. I don't know why they didn't want to get me the gum. But you know, at a certain point, you just like, I may not have cared about this, but now you lied to me. If you had said you forgot, then fine. But now you lied to me. You done told me that something isn't possible that's possible. So we had to get the gun. And we found the gun. Literally at the nearest convenience store.
The massage was over. The masseuse walked up behind me, whispered in my ear, "Do you want me to make banana cry?" I was like, big tears.
I think every comedian, what you look for in a comedy opener is somebody who's gonna set you up to win, right? I've opened for people, that's the mindset I had, and that's what I want for me. So Reg is just one of those people that really just does a great job of that. Like, he makes it his effort every time to do that, and you just see it, and you just appreciate that it's like not something lightweight for him. And it ain't always like that. I've definitely had openers before where I'm like, give me the mic. Reg is not just gonna open for you, he also has a really, dope comedy mind, and he has really good taste. And so he's also gonna watch your set and be able to give you valuable feedback. So when someone is there that's willing and like excited about doing that, it just makes everything a step up. You gotta know you love Reg. He's just a lovable, huggable Haitian.
But Washington, D.C., are y'all ready for your headline at this moment right now? The woman of the hour. You seen her on Insecure. You see her HBO special, Small Doses. You know her HBO special, I Be Knowing. Her podcast, Small Doses. Welcome the one and only Amanda Seales.
The overall experience of this DC residency was good. I think, you know what it is that I am so used to grinding. And in this last year and now this year, I realized like, I really do have to take care of myself differently. And these DC performances, they required a certain level of effort that I wasn't really anticipating, but it was because like, they were sandwiched in the middle of me doing this thing and me doing that thing and me going this thing. And it's like, in my mind, that's logical, right? Like, yeah, like I will go do this and I'll come and do this and I'll get ready for this. But when you're actually doing it, you realize that rest is not the same in a hotel. Rest is not the same when you got off a plane and then you had to come and go do something and then you got to say hi to people and you got to, it's not easy like it was. And it just kind of made me wonder, like, is this a shift that's happening just career-wise? I mean, if I ran, do you think you would vote for me?
It depends. Oh. It depends.
In Amanda We Trust, an unapologetically political comedy doc from Amanda Seales, coming soon to the internet.
Hear that motorcade? That's Kamala going home. That could be me.
In AmandaWeTrust.com.